There, everybody. Welcome. We're in the middle of a series called A Man After God's Own Heart, the life of David in the Bible. And we're at 2 Samuel chapter number 20 at this stage of our study. If you can turn there and read along with us, I think it'll benefit you greatly to do so. Hearing with your ears and reading with your eyes is a good way to do it. So, Absalom has attempted his coup against his father, trying to steal the kingdom from him, and David has won the victory. Against David's wishes, his captain of the guard, his right hand general Joab, killed Absalom along with 10 of his armor bearers, and David is going to be restored to the throne now. However, because of this weakness in the king's kingdom, there's another man who is going to try to usurp his authority. His name is Sheba. So that's what we're going to talk about today. 2 Samuel chapter number 20, verse number 1. We're also going to see that Joab's disloyalty is going to continue here in this chapter. Already, Joab has been disloyal to David by killing Absalom when instructed not to. Then, secondarily, when David was mourning for Absalom, Joab said, "Hey, we all put our lives on the line to defend you. You need to get out there and say thank you to the people," which is one thing. But then he added, "And if you don't, by tonight, I'll turn everyone against you." That was crossing the line. And now we're going to see Joab cross the line yet again. This would be a third strike here for Joab, but it's one of those tough spots. David needs Joab, Joab needs David. It's really hard for David. So, verse number 1, there happened to be there a man of Belial, whose name was Sheba, the son of Bishri, a Benjamite. And he blew a trumpet and said, "We have no part in David, neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse. Every man do his tents, O Israel." So this man named Sheba is still trying to keep the kingdom split. He's going to try to turn Israel against David and take the throne from him. So every man of Israel went up from after David and followed Sheba, the son of Bishri. But the men of Judah clave unto their king from Jordan even unto Jerusalem. So the tribe of Judah is still going to be loyal to David, but the rest of Israel's turning their back on him. And David came to his house at Jerusalem. So he's finally home, back in the palace, back where he belongs. And if you remember, when Absalom came to Jerusalem, he took the 10 concubines of David that he had left behind to oversee the palace, and he laid with them in the biblical sense before all Jerusalem. And so these ladies are being brought up here. The king took the 10 women, his concubines, whom he had left to keep the house, and put them in ward, and fed them, but went not in unto them. So they were shut up unto the day of their death, living in widowhood. And so David takes these 10 women, and since Absalom had defiled them, David just puts them up, feeds them, takes care of their needs, but they no longer have that relationship with him that they had beforehand, and they were just taken care of until the day of their death. Then said the king to Amasa. If you remember yesterday, part 38, we talked about David taking Amasa aside and telling him he's going to make him the next captain of the guard. So he's going to replace Joab with Amasa. That's David's plan, and we see that put into action here. The king said to Amasa, "Assemble me the men of Judah within 3 days, and be thou here present." So Amasa went to assemble the men of Judah, but he tarried longer than the set time which he had appointed him. So David's first order to Amasa, "Hey, go put an army together of these men of Judah and do it within 3 days." So he does it, but he takes longer than the 3 days to do so. And David said to Abishai, "Now shall Sheba, the son of Bishri, do us more harm than did Absalom. Take thou thy Lord's servants and pursue after him, lest he get him fenced cities and escape us." And there went out after him Joab's men, and the Cherethites, and the Pelethites, and all the mighty men. And they went out of Jerusalem to pursue after Sheba, the son of Bishri. When they were at the great stone which is in Gibeon, Amasa went before them. And Joab's garment that he had put on. Let me stop there. So we'll stop at the part where Amasa went before them. So what's happened? David has told Amasa, not Joab, get an army together, go after Sheba. 3 days, do it. Well, he's late. So David tells Abishai, you know what? I'm not waiting on Amasa. You take the guys and go and defeat Sheba. And so Abishai takes Abishai takes the army and he pursues after Sheba. While he's chasing them down, however, Amasa catches up to them. So he was running late, but now he's there. Verse number 8. When they were at the great stone, which is in Gibeon, Amasa went before them. But notice here, and Joab's garment that he had put on was girded unto him, and upon it a girdle with a sword fastened upon his loins, in the sheath thereof, and as he went forth, it fell out. So Joab sees Amasa show up. He knows David has put Amasa in charge of this expedition. Surely he understands that David is replacing him with Amasa, and so he undoes the sheath of his sword so that it falls out onto the ground. Okay? So now he's going to have to bend over and pick up this sword. And notice what happens. Joab said to Amasa, art thou in health, my brother? And Joab took Amasa by the beard with the right hand to kiss him. But Amasa took no heed to the sword that was in Joab's hand. So he smote him therewith in the fifth rib, and shed out his bowels to the ground, and struck him not again, and he died. So Joab and Abishai his brother pursued after Sheba the son of Bichri. So Joab, knowing he's not the captain, knowing he's being replaced by Amasa, when he sees Amasa, pretends to be friendly with him. In fact, I'm told this warm greeting here, taking the man by the beard with the right hand, pulling him close to kiss him, was a term of great endearment that men would show one another. And so he's using this fake or faux affection for Amasa. And of course, as we said, his sword fell out of the sheath intentionally so that he could bend over and pick it up, and then it's in his hand, but it looks reasonable to be in his hand. If he walked up to Amasa and drew it, well, that's a whole other matter, isn't it? That's going to be perceived as a threat. So he pretends that it falls out. He picks it up, grabs Amasa by the beard, which would make people think, oh, everything's okay, and he then stabs him in the fifth rib and slices him open. All of his intestines fall out onto the ground. So Joab has just eliminated Amasa, his replacement. Verse 11, and one of Joab's men stood by him and said, he that favoreth Joab, and he that is for David, let him go after Joab. So without missing a beat, one of Joab's men says, hey, all right, Amasa's dead. If you want to obey your king, follow his captain of the guard, his captain of the host, Joab. So they go. And Amasa wallowed in blood in the midst of the highway. And when the man saw that all the people stood still, he removed Amasa out of the highway into the field and cast a cloth upon him when he saw that everyone that came by him stood still. So everybody's passing by, but just like a car wreck, everyone has to stop and look. Who is that? Is that who I think it is? Is that Amasa? Oh man, what happened to him? And so he says, you know what? Throw him in the ditch, cover him with a cloth, everybody keep moving. When he was removed out of the highway, all the people went on after Joab to pursue after Sheba, the son of Bichri. So here is the third act of rebellion that Joab puts forth against King David. And David is really at a loss of how to handle Joab. And he went through all the tribes of Israel unto Abel and to Bethmaachah, and all the Beerites, and they were gathered together, and went also after him. And they came and besieged him in Abel of Bethmaachah, and they cast up a bank against the city, and it stood in the trench, and all the people that were with Joab battered the wall to throw it down. So they arrived at this city named Abel, and Sheba and his men have already arrived in town, so they're behind the wall of the city, and Joab and the people are trying to break down this wall in order to get to him. Then here comes this lady. Then cried a wise woman out of the city, Hear, hear, say, I pray you, unto Joab, Come near hither, that I may speak with thee. And when he was come near unto her, a woman said, Art thou Joab? And he said, I am he. Then she said unto him, Hear the words of thine handmaid. And he answered, I do hear. So she knew who to go to, didn't she? She went right to the top of the chain of command and says, Listen, I need you to hear me out. And he says, I'll listen to you. Then she spake, saying, There were wont to speak in old time, saying, They shall surely ask counsel at Abel. And so they ended the matter. So apparently this is an old saying. It doesn't make a lot of sense to us. They shall surely ask counsel at Abel, and so they ended the matter. But what the saying basically is if you need help when you're in Abel, just ask for it. You'll usually get what you're looking for. I am one of them that are peaceable and faithful in Israel. This is the lady speaking of herself now. Thou seekest to destroy a city and a mother in Israel. Why wilt thou swallow up the inheritance of the Lord? So she's saying, why are you attacking one of our own cities? And why are you coming after our own people? I being one of them, a mother in Israel. Why would you swallow up the inheritance of the Lord? And Joab answered and said, Far be it from me that I should swallow up or destroy. The matter is not so. But a man of Mount Ephraim, Sheba, the son of Bishri by name, hath lifted up his hand against the king, even against David. So he explains to her, I'm not here to destroy this city, and I'm not here to destroy the people in this city or you. I'm looking for one guy, Sheba. And he says, Deliver him only, and I will depart from the city. And the woman said unto Joab, Behold, his head shall be thrown to thee over the wall. So this woman, I guess that saying was right. If you need counsel in Abel, just ask, you'll get what you want. Then the woman went unto all the people in her wisdom, and they cut off the head of Sheba, the son of Bishri, and cast it out to Joab. And he blew a trumpet, and they retired from the city, every man to his tent. And Joab returned to Jerusalem unto the king. Now Joab was over all the host of Israel. And Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, was over the Cherethites and over the Pelethites, and Adoram was over the tribute, and Jehoshaphat, the son of Ahilud, was recorder, and Sheva was scribe, and Zadok and Abiathar were priests, and Ira also the Jerarite was a chief ruler about David. And so nothing's changed. Joab has kept his position in spite of David's desire to replace him. And, love him and hate him, Joab is an amazing warrior, an incredible soldier. He was sent to kill Sheba. Well, Amasa was sent to kill Sheba. Joab ends up killing Sheba. He does what the king needs done. In fact, we already talked about this a couple of times. Absalom had to die. There was no way around it. Either that or exiled far, far away forever. And perhaps that was David's plan, but Joab said he's brought so much destruction to the nation of Israel, we're just going to kill him and take him out here. Then to tell David, I'll turn the whole group of loyalists against you by nightfall if you don't get out there and say thank you. Even if it was just a threat. That's not a threat you make to the king. And Joab did it. So tension is here, and we'll see it play out for the rest of David's tenure as king. All right, thanks so much for watching today. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.